most dangerous piece of jewellery in history? Welcome to episode 1 of the Signet series, a series exploring how signet rings have long functioned as symbols of identity, authority and social prestige within upper society. In this series, we'll look at how these small rings, once tools of power, differ across the world's elite. We're starting in Britain, where the signet ring became one of the most recognisable markers of high society. And even in 2026, that association hasn't disappeared. Historically, these rings weren't decorative. They were instruments of authority. A family crest was engraved in reverse, so the ring could stamp wax seals onto letters and documents. Before signatures, that imprint was essentially your legal identity. Historically, losing a signet ring could be dangerous, because anyone who possessed it could effectively impersonate its owner, which is why signets were traditionally worn by those entitled to heraldic arms. Aristocratic families, landowners, later the professional elite. The classic British signet hasn't changed much. Oval face, solid gold, worn on the little finger. Prices today vary widely. A simple gold signet might start around £400, while hand-engraved heraldic rings from specialist makers can easily reach £3,000 to £5,000, particularly when made in solid 18-carat gold. Traditional British makers such as Rebus or Deakin and Francis still produce many of these rings today, often engraving family crests entirely by hand. But culturally, the ring now sits in an interesting space. Within traditional families, it's still an inherited heirloom, passed down as a quiet marker of lineage. Outside those circles, it has also become part of the aesthetic shorthand for old money style, and that's where the cliches creep in. Wearing a signet ring doesn't magically confer aristocratic credibility, even if some like to imagine it does. Equally, the idea that a signet must only ever be inherited is often overstated. It's a tradition, not a rule. Some wear them as family heirlooms, others simply for aesthetic reasons. Both are legitimate, just very different motivations. Still, the object itself has endured remarkably well. Few pieces of jewellery carry quite the same mix of heritage, discretion and status signalling, which is exactly why the British signet ring remains one of the most recognisable markers of upper class style. Do you own a signet ring?